Hi guys, welcome to Film Companion South. We are fresh out of Leo and Ram. So let's start with you.
Do you think the trip to Bangalore was worth it?
Bloody sweet.
Okay, you tell me in one sentence, what did you think of Leo?
See, when we walked into Leo, we were expecting a certain film, right? So this film was half of it. I mean, like at least for the first half, you got exactly what we expected, and it was solid. But then you expect it to go to the next level in the second half. It doesn't go. I mean, like at least to me, it was parts of it were quite underwhelming. But overall, I'm still like, okay, 70%. I'm in favor for the film. What about you?
I was a little disappointed.
Why?
The first half, like you said, worked for me. Again, we're back to that same discussion where we say the first half was great, second half did not work. But first half was the film I expected. It didn't deliver less, it didn't deliver more. But the second half was thoroughly disappointing.
Okay, why did you like the first half? At least for me, see, we all had this speculation that the film was a history of violence. And guys, it is an adaptation of history of violence. It is acknowledged in the film's, the title card. So it's not a spoiler. So in that sense, when the film is trying to hold back its action material, right? When it's trying to present Vijay as Parthiban, the Pavam family guy, I think those portions were brilliant. Be it the opening hyena sequence, it's really good, guys. The hype is real. And the first few action sequences where he's trying to defend himself from the bad guys, those portions really, really worked for me. What about you?
No, I agree. I agree to exactly what you said. The first half was really good. You could see Lokesh's skill really in that first half. Even in portions where he's really slowing down time, he sets it up perfectly, and the payoff is also excellent. So first half for me, I was super happy. It was exactly the film I went in thinking it would be, and it delivered.
Why didn't second half work for you? Can you share without giving spoilers? We'll get to spoilers later.
Okay, so for me, it starts at a certain place. It takes it to a really high point during the interval. After that, it goes into such a wild zone that you're sitting there thinking, like, what the F, man? Like, what are you doing with this? Almost about 10 or 15 minutes into the second half, it takes you to a new zone. But that zone is so wild, even within that predictable space.
The flashback you're talking.
The flashback.
The problem for me with the second half is that the backstory was terribly underwritten. I mean, they keep talking about this guy called Leo, and he's this deadly guy. The build-up is heavy and all. But when you actually go to the backstory, the characters are so underdeveloped. I mean, the relationship between them is so underdeveloped that you really don't care for anything. It felt very, haphazard in that sense. There is a cameo. I don't know whether I should say it. There's a cameo of a Bollywood director, and it all made no sense.
Now, can you go into the spoilers?
I mean, like, before going to the spoilers, guys, I think we are being a little too harsh. There are parts of the film that are really good. See, there is an action sequence in the bakery, in the diner that you might have seen in the trailer already. See, it's a heroic scene, but after the heroic scene, this guy, this Parthiban, he sits and he cries because he knows that his life is going to be shit now, because it's never going to be the same again now that he has taken up violence once again. So these touches I really liked, but I'm saying,
I totally agree with you on this part. I really liked Vijay in the movie, and I'm not simply saying this because I didn't like him in Master, but in this movie you see real vulnerability. Not only is he vulnerable, and he's showing you like sides to his acting that we haven't seen in many years, but it's also clever. He's also doing all those scenes with a wink, which is what I found very clever, because you know what's going to happen. The film by no means has any surprises, but even in that zone, you feel like there is a secret conversation between the audience and Vijay, which is amazing.
What do you want to talk about Anirudh? For instance, I couldn't feel Anirudh in this film.
I could feel it. I mean, I wouldn't 100% agree with you. I could feel it in the second half, especially in portions where you feel like things are not working out. You could feel a certain burst of energy that keeps popping up here and there when it comes to Anirudh. I agree with the fact that it didn't work out like the way it must have worked out in Jailer or even Beast for that matter. But I don't think it's the kind of music that is ignorable. Yeah, so now we're getting into the proper spoilery part. If you want to watch the movie and come back and listen to the rest of the review, totally agree with that. Is the movie LCU or not?
It is LCU, of course it's LCU. And my favorite, I mean, like, I see, you can call them not great, you can call it not great storytelling because we are getting excited by the fact that the film belongs to an LCU more than the fact that the film is exciting you. Having said that, I really felt that...
But this is not a Lokesh cinematic universe. You can call it like something small. You can call it like Lokesh cinematic like Union Territory or something. I don't think it's a universe.
It is a universe. See, my problem with the film is the backstory. And in the second half, see, the point is, so you want to talk about the Napoleon scene, where when Vijay's family is under threat and the goons are attacking his family. We had already seen something like that in Jailer. You know, see, I'm not saying that Jailer did it better or Lokesh Kanagaraj didn't do it well. Because that's so fresh in our memory, you know that something like this is going to happen, and that kind of, you know, took away that magic or that blast. This is what exactly worked in Vikram. You know, that surprise element.
Don't you think that is because we know almost the entire Lokesh pattern by now?
Yeah.
You know exactly what he's setting things up for.
If he's planting something, you know that it'll have a payoff.
Yeah, and don't you think the number of things that he's planted in the first half is so much that, you know, it's all going to come gushing back in the second half, and when it does, I didn't get a single high moment, especially when it goes into that whole Home Alone zone. I found it very comical.
The trap. No, see, again, the point is, we have seen, I think we are getting familiar with Lokesh's psyche. We have started seeing how he plans his movement. So I think that's robbing away a little fun.
Yeah. And same goes with even though I absolutely love the diner sequence, the way he's used music like he always does. Now it's not about the novelty of it. Now it's about the novelty of which song is used. Which vague 90s song or which vague 80s song has he brought back into pop culture. It's become such a signature that we're kind of getting distracted from that moment. Did you feel that?
Yeah, I mean, like in Kaidi and Vikram, those moments felt a little more organic.
Yeah.
Here it felt like, because it's a part of his brand, it's a part of the Lokesh Kanagaraj film now, he had to do those things. I wish there was a more smoother way to incorporate this. But to be honest, I liked the moment. Like the fact that the tension is built around using a rather playful song, you know, juxtaposing the mood, the tension mode there. But yes, I wish it was done more, you know, more smoothly.
Yeah, but I disagree with you about one thing you said about the second half. You felt it was underwritten.
The backstory was underwritten.
I felt the backstory is overwritten. Because that's the problem. I think we're not able to, none of the moments, none of the facts, none of the instances stick. Because it's at such a rush. Like for instance, we go into the second half because a particular character is the one who's telling you that. And it happens at such a speed that I don't understand what the hell is happening in those phases. And it is such a big statement. It's like a dump of information. And I couldn't grasp any of it. So I think it is overwritten. There are parts of it, like for instance, the entire bit about a really, really important character being almost like a devil worshipper, right? It could have been so cool.
It should have been creepy. It should have been scary.
It should have been doubly creepy because of how close that character is to the lead, the hero, you know? But whereas in this, it's just another excuse for Lokesh to build like a massive set that looks creepy, but feels weird.
Yeah. See, I felt the villains were like non-existent, to be honest. I mean, like, there is the villain, you know, doing human sacrificing and all. It should be chilling. It should be so disturbing. In Vikram, they show a beheaded corpse.
Yeah.
Okay, and you know, at that moment when Amar looks at Gayatri's beheaded body, you feel that chill, right?
Yeah.
You feel the extent that this villain can go to achieve what he wants. Leo lacked that. It almost felt like he didn't want to say disturb family audiences or something.
No, but then I don't agree with you because it's almost impossible for Lokesh to shoot a bad action scene. Okay.
No, I'm not saying he shot bad action scenes.
Yeah.
That violence, it's not disturbing.
No, but because of that, was it any less fun or any less engaging?
No, because of that, I'm not able to. The villains are not scary for me.
Okay. That is again a writing problem.
Yeah.
What about the female characters? Like, what about the see, eventually, in Lokesh's movies, it's like 99.9% men.
I think he did try to make an effort this time, right, with Trisha. I don't know what Priya Anand was doing, but at least with Trisha, there is an attempt. Again, that's where the whole family drama angle comes in.
Yeah.
He's trying to treat it like a proper drama. That's why you get that whole 5-minute, that long scene where Vijay is crying in front of Trisha and all. That's because he's trying to build that relationship, and he's trying to show how much this family means to that guy. There is also a dialogue in the end that says that this family is the only,
His
opportunity
do-over.
for
Yeah.
me to compensate for the crimes that I've done, the sins that I've done in the past. So I didn't mind.
But tell me, did the family portions work for you? Do you have real connections with any of those kids?
Do you have connections with Harold Das and Anthony Das?
I don't have any connection with either of
Better
them.
than that, better than the whole enmity angle, the family portions were better.
Yeah. So do you call this a 100% Lokesh film?
It is trying to be a 100% Lokesh film, but there is some level of genericness to it.
I think it's a 100% Lokesh film, and by which I'm saying it's not that he's done anything. I don't see any compromises in the way he's treated a superstar like Vijay.
No compromises.
There's nothing that he's done in the film that really dilutes the
story,
film that
the
he
character.
wanted to make. It's just that I don't know. Maybe it requires one more movie. And you're dealing with two characters who are not only villains. Imagine the impact it's supposed to have when the villain is family, But in a Pandyraj movie, it works so well.
Yeah.
In a Lokesh movie, it hasn't.
Yeah, so I think we can end on a note saying that the problem with Leo is not that it's a bad film or it's a lazy film, or not that it is completely unoriginal. It's not like that.
Or not that it lacks any logic.
See, I'll tell you. Vikram and Kaidi end with such a great high that, for instance, that whole Rolex thing in Vikram is so cool and such a huge deal that we are willing to overlook a certain flaws in the first half of the film, or in the early portions of the second half. But since the second half of Leo is not as strong, I think we are not able to appreciate the first half where the film is solid.
Yeah.
Where the film is really, really, really good.
Yeah. And I think to a large extent, even my disappointment comes from the fact that he is one of our finest directors.
Yeah.
And there's no question about that. He's one of our finest directors, one of the craziest thinkers in terms of action, in terms of his signature, his style. He's got such real style. But you trust him to deliver something special when it's a Vijay movie. And again, after Master, I feel like he hasn't delivered, and I'm disappointed.
I disagree with that.
Yeah.
I think, again,
You like this better than Master?